What's up, TTFF people, and welcome to the Tucson Family Food Project. My name is Steven Cotorobles. I hope you all had an amazing holiday season and that your 2024 has started off just the way you wanted it to. We're starting off our 2024 with an elevated dish that is guaranteed to impress your friends and family. So get ready, because this week we're making a feta cheese and portobello mushroom omelette. Today's recipe is full of nutritious ingredients. Feta is a great source of protein, makes you feel full, and because it's made of sheep's milk, it's even easier to digest than cheese that comes from cows. Eggs are delicious and a great source of protein, and portobellos are rich in B vitamins and antioxidants. But I definitely want to acknowledge that some of these flavors are a little grown up, and you might even think they're a little weird. All I ask is that you try it with an open mind and give it a fair chance, because that's the best way to build your knowledge and skills, especially when it comes to cooking. And if it seems like maybe it's a little too far out there for you, then I want to empower you to use the skills you've learned to make it so you do like it. And I know you can do it. So here we go. In your meal kit this week, you have 2/3 of a pound of mushrooms, 8 jumbo eggs, some basil, half a cup of feta cheese, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and half a cup of diced tomatoes. And to make this week's recipe, all you'll need is a frying pan, preferably non-stick. If you don't have a non-stick pan, that's okay. You'll just make a scramble instead of an omelet. 2 bowls, a spatula, a spoon, and a fork or a whisk. If you have a whisk, it'll make it a little bit easier. So the first thing we're gonna do is make our topping. So this is gonna be almost like a salsa, like an Italian salsa that's gonna go on top of our omelet. So the first thing we're gonna do is pour our tomatoes into a small bowl. We're gonna add a nice big pinch of salt. From your oil cup, you're gonna add a decent splash, but you're gonna leave most of your oil in your cup. From your balsamic vinegar, you're gonna hit it with a little splash like this, leaving some, because you can always add more, but balsamic's a little bit of a strong flavor, so see how you like it first. And then the last thing we're gonna do in here is put our basil in. But what we're gonna do with the basil is tear it off the stem, and we're gonna actually rip this with our hands and put it in here. And the reason we're doing that is because ripping it is gonna actually increase the flavor of the basil, and the closer to cooking you do it, the better the flavor will be. So if you do this like the day before, you end up losing a little bit of flavor. And you have a good amount of basil in your kit, just like the olive oil and the balsamic. You can start with a little and always add more as you go. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna give it a stir and a taste. And then we're gonna see if we need to add anything else into it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more balsamic into mine and a little more basil. To start our omelet, we're gonna start by making our egg mixture. So you wanna crack all of your eggs into a bowl, and then we're gonna whisk it all together. So as we start cooking, the first thing we're gonna do is use the rest of our extra virgin olive oil into our pan, and we're gonna heat this over medium to medium high heat. And you'll know it's ready to add the mushrooms in when the oil starts turning shimmery. So now that our oil is nice and warm, We're gonna carefully pour in our mushrooms into the pan, and we're gonna cook these for about 4 to 5 minutes until they're nice and deep brown. And we're gonna stir them and make sure that all of the mushrooms get a little bit of oil on them. So now you can see our mushrooms have taken on a beautiful dark brown color, and they've shrunken down in size because we've cooked the water out of them. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in our eggs. You can just pour this right into the pan. And then we're gonna sprinkle on our feta cheese. And if you have big clumps like that fall out in there, you can use your spatula just to break them up and make them smaller, but it just kind of depends how you like the feta to be. And then we're going to give this a little mix. And I'm going to go ahead and lower the heat down to medium-low. And every so often, you just want to scrape the sides of your pan as we let our eggs cook. And another good trick to get rid of all of this liquid here is to tilt your pan and let it all run down and touch the pan. And that'll make it cook a lot faster. And you can do that with the whole thing. Be careful, you don't want it to slide out of the pan. And then we'll scrape down the sides again just like we did before. All right, so now it's time for us to flip our omelet. Now there's no wrong way to do this. If you want to put your spatula in here and mix everything all up, that's totally fine. What I'm going to try to do is flip one side of this over like a traditional omelet. It's a skill that takes a lot of practice, and even I'm still working on it, but we're going to give it a shot today. We're just going to put our spatula under here. Hey, not bad. And if you do this in batches and you do like maybe half your eggs first, it'll be a lot smaller omelet and much easier to flip. Now I'm gonna try this, and this is something that I'm still working on, but I'm gonna try to flip this in the pan. If you're gonna try it with a smaller portion instead of this big omelet, but it's definitely a skill you can develop. Not bad. All right, so now our omelet's all cooked. I'm gonna turn the heat off, and with my spatula, I'm gonna cut this into 4 manageable pieces that we can then plate. Easiest way to cut things into 4 is to cut it in half, and then cut the halves in half. Now we're ready to plate and put on our garnish. So there is our feta and portobello omelet. I hope you all liked it, and I want to give you all props for trying it. Experimenting with new foods and flavors can definitely be intimidating, but I'm so proud of all of you for being so adventurous. If you adjusted the recipe, please let me know how so I can try it and learn something new myself. Thank you so much to our friends at Market on the Move for this seriously delicious tomatoes and portobellos, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I love and appreciate all of you, and I'll see you all right back here next week with another delicious recipe. So until then, peace.